Okay, so let's get to the astro-therapy of it all. Now, 7 steps of what you can do during this transformative time of the new moon. Going in and of the earth phase, going into planting, going into clearing, going into the Scorpio to the the Scorpio to the Sagittarius energy. What can you do during this time to call forth the right things and leave behind the right things on your transformational journey? Okay, so late this evening and tomorrow we'll go into the new moon, right? Which means that for the month we're going out of the planting stage into the clearing stage of the moon cycle. And the earth cycle or the earth phase right now is in the planting phase. What does all of that mean? That means that the earth energy itself and where it's at is making the universe pregnant. This is the time of the year to get the universe pregnant with whatever it is you want to manifest. And this is the end of the monthly cycle of doing that. And the moon is going to go from Scorpio to Sag around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? What does that mean? So that means your inner mystical energy, that moon energy, that aspect of yourself that is not just a shadow version of yourself, but the hidden version of yourself, that is your truth, and how you handle your emotions, how you feel inside as a person that everybody doesn't always see. And that moon energy works with water, and water is spirit. Being in Scorpio, which is transformative, which is the deepest mystical depths, the dark aspects and shadow work that you need to do, what to clip off in order to transform, is where your emotional state is at this point, and where the moon is going to help you clear. While that shift is going to happen between the moon going from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I call the spiritual warrior. Sagittarius is all about, it's like the fiery freedom, the traditions and religions and things of that nature, but standing on what's truth, standing on what makes sense within them and being a warrior about it. Like, that's what that energy is. It's not just being defined within limitations and boxes just because. They have to say, okay, this is truth and I'm riding for it. But it's about the higher mind, the philosophies, the religion, all of that. So that's why I call the Sagittarius energy the spiritual warrior energy. So that's where your emotional state will be. Dealing with the emotions of your, where you're at, what you're letting go of, what you're working on inside, what you haven't dealt with your shadow work. And then going into that emotional state of being a spiritual warrior to stand on what it is you're transforming within your life. During the planting phase. During the planting phase, going into the clearing. So whatever you've been planting, thinking about the most, even if you weren't doing any rituals for it, that's what you have been putting forward. And now the moon cycle is going to help you with clearing some things out to make room for what's going to come in. Okay, that's what we're doing now. Before I forget, while that's happening, while we're in the new moon in Scorpio, which will be gravitating into Sagittarius, during that time, South Node and Venus will be in Libra in the 4th house. What does that mean? That means that whatever you learned when it comes to relationships and balance and harmony within relationships, to do with your family, how you were nurtured, your foundations in life, what happened earlier in life, to do with your relationships, and how it affected your balance and harmony or lack thereof, your values that come with that, your love language that comes with that, how you're able to communicate, and mediate within a family dynamic. You're going to feel all of that within that transformative state of the moon. Okay? So that you know what you're clearing out in your life and calling forth. And that's what we'll talk about next. Exercise on how to clear and call forth. Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's get to the astro-therapy of it all. Now, 7 steps of what you can do during this transformative time of the new moon. Going in and of the earth phase, going into planting, going into clearing, going into the Scorpio to the the Scorpio to the Sagittarius energy. What can you do during this time to call forth the right things and leave behind the right things on your transformational journey? All right. First, what you're going to need. You're going to need a pen, 2 pieces of paper, and a white candle. Miss anything? You may need a pot. A pot that can burn, something you can burn paper in. That's it. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. Just go somewhere outside where you can burn some paper. All right. I use these. Old burns. But I need to wash that out. I don't know if might have some extra residue from some old stuff I tried to leave out of my life, right? So you can get this from any botanica store, or you can order them on Amazon, or they have different stuff. I think this is made out of iron, but they have steel pots. You can use a pot that you already have that you're not gonna handle one piece of paper being burned. Okay, I think that's everything. This is my recipe that I put together from other recipes given to me by priests and priestesses over time. And that's what I do a lot of the time. I utilize what's worked for me, and I make different recipes for my clients depending upon, like I said, what's worked. And then I see what works for them. And this is one of the ones that has worked for my clients, friends, family members that I've assisted with their spiritual healing. Okay? All right. So step 1, you are going to make a small altar for yourself if you don't already have one. Oh, I don't know I'm doing that much work. It's not a lot of work. Get a picture of yourself. I already told you to have a candle. Get something that represents earth, rather if it's some rice, if it's a plant, if it's some dry beans, or some other form of grains, or whatever. It could be dirt from outside, put it in a little bowl. Something that represents the earth. And then water. That's all you're really going to need for this, okay? If you want to add air, add air. But the main things, I'm going to tell you the main things if you don't have anything else. Your candle, some water, your picture, all right? If it's anything else that you want to add to that altar, especially over time, you don't have to do it tonight for this ritual, but just over time to make your altar space and feed your ka, which is the part of your soul that holds the consciousness and personality, then add it to the altar. Things that you want to call into your life or that you see yourself as and represents your godly energy, you can add it to that altar. Doesn't need to happen for this exercise, okay? I told you with the basics of what you need for that, okay? Step 2, you're going to write down your 5 core values on one of the papers, right? Oh, I'm sorry, you need 3 pages. You need 3. I forgot, you need 3. One of the pages, you're going to write down your 5 core values. On the next page, you're going to write down what you want to release out of your life. And the easiest way to think about those things is to think about what triggers you, what makes you feel not yourself, what makes you feel bitter or frustrated or disappointed or angry. Those are the things that you want to put on that paper. I wouldn't put names of people. I would put things that those people represent. If you are thinking of a person, because some people might do that. Then, my baby daddy, such and such. Put things that represent you and things that you control into your life that you don't want anymore. Bad habits, the feeling of being angry or bitter or whatever. You know, unhealthy bonds. You know, things like that. Use terms like that. You know, people in your life, unhealthy bonds. Bonds that bring out the worst in you. Use terms like that. You know, procrastination, laziness, depression, feeling weak, whatever it is that you feel is hindering you being your best self, you put it on that paper. On the next paper, I want you to write out the opposite of that. Whatever you put on that paper, I want you to put the opposite of those things that you would like to call into your life. Strength. You know, strength, confidence, healthy relationships, love. Whatever it is that is on the opposite side, good health. You know, whatever it is, ambition. Whatever is on the opposite side of that other paper, you put on this paper. Okay? Now, next step. Okay. So we're going to back it up a little bit. And the first step, I forgot to tell you, actually is the journaling. Journaling either early in the morning or whenever you can in a silent space. And ask Spirit, where are you at in life right now? Especially if you feel a little lost. Where am I at in life right now? Where do I want to be? Or where am I going? Or what do I need to work on? That's a good one. In my process, that was the questions that I would ask. What is my biggest challenge? And then where am I strong? Those are the type of questions you ask Spirit one at a time. Or Spirit already knows the questions that you really need answered. So sometimes I just say, talk to me, Spirit. Just talk to me. And then just write. So just write. After you say, Spirit, talk to me, don't doubt anything that comes through. I don't care if it's coming in, it feels like it's coming from here. If it feels like it came through here. If it feels like it came down here. You never know what energy center Spirit is going to speak to you through. Don't doubt it. Later, you'll be able to decipher what's your mind working and just, you know, you doubting stuff and having your own thoughts on top of Spirit. And then you'll be able to see what Spirit. My easiest way to understand over time was after a while, I was able to feel where information was coming, rather if it was coming up inside of me from some divine wisdom through lifetimes in my being, or rather if it was entering my brain, you know, by either a surrounding spirit or divine consciousness itself, you know. And not only will you be able to feel where it's coming from, but you will be able to start to differentiate in the language, because you know how you speak. When it comes through, it don't sound like you. For once, it'll be saying you. When you talk to yourself or you speak of yourself, you say I. You don't say you. That's a sign that sometimes it's not your thoughts. Right? If you're sitting there saying, Spirit, talk to me or not. Some of you have very strong spiritual teams and you don't even know it. You got a granny that'll never leave. Or an ancestor you never even met. Or just divine consciousness and spiritual guides. One of my spiritual guides, I don't even think we related. I don't know how they ended up being somebody that's around me sometimes, you know, and helping me and learn certain things and guide. You know, shout out to Chris. Should not have said his name on here. Some of you guys do magic and do a lot of weird shit. But yeah, you'll be able to meet them. We'll talk about that in a whole nother video. Let's stay focused. I'm going left field. So, journal. Allow Spirit to tell you where you're at and what you need to work on. Okay? That's number one. Number two is writing the things out that you need to release and that you want to call for. All right? And your 5 values. Number 3, you're going to lay down by your altar that you just made for yourself, however how small or big, Just get it done. Okay? You're going to put down your 5 values and what you're calling into your life. Next step. 4th step. You are going to sit as silent as possible. Hold the candle and imagine white light. What I found out in doing this for work for other people, and even myself, sometimes it's hard to just imagine white light. It's better to imagine a person with white light coming out and around them. And just like an avoided space, just a person at their best. So it may be better for you to imagine yourself in your most godliest sense. How your hair at its best, your skin at its best, your robes, your cloth, your jewelry, your glow, and most important, your glow. Imagine light, the brightest light around you. And are you holding that? Or you're holding the candle about this size? But this size or bigger, because it'll last longer. And you hold it and you allow that vision to give energy to go into the candle. I know this sounds crazy, but it works. It works. It works. It works. When I'm working for somebody and it's consistent, I see the glow. I see the glow. I have somebody I'm working with that's in the hospital right now. And when I go see her, after doing that and lighting it with the ritual I do for her, it blows my mind. Like, yo, she looked just how I imagined her in my head. Like, yo. Like, anyway, let me stop. Now it's the practice of doing it for yourself. And I'm telling myself that too, because I'm going to be doing this with you guys, because I need to do it more for myself as well. So, charge your candle with white light or a vision, the best glowing vision of yourself. Okay? Put that down on your altar. Don't light it yet. Put it down on your altar. Now you're going to go outside or whatever the designated space is for the next step. And you are going to burn the paper that you have everything on there that you want to release. And you're going to say from here to here, really from here to here, you want to feel the vibration. And you're going to say as it burns, or when you start lighting it to burn, as this burns, I release. As this burns, I release. I release. I release. And you'll know if you really letting it out. Because you sometimes you might cry. Because it's a purge. Because you need to release this. You know it. And if you're in a space where, you're worried about what other people are going to think, or you don't have private areas to accomplish this, then maybe do the burn. Think it through, think it as it's burning, and then go sit in the car somewhere. And then you say it. You still say it. What has burned, I release. What has burned, I release. Okay? You do that for yourself. The next step is to light the candle, put it on your altar, and then you say, as this candle burns, I call forth what's on this paper. As this candle burns, I call forth what's on these papers. As this candle burns, I call forth what's on this paper. And then the last 2 steps, really it's 2 steps, but for the evening, what you're going to do, the last step is take a bath. Just take a bath. Wash it off. Wash it off. If you have some myrrh oil, frankincense, basil, rosemary, any of those, some eucalyptus, whatever, put some of that in there. It'll enhance your spiritual connection, cleanse negative energy, and protect you from some negative energy as well. And then the last thing, which is very important, every day, 3 to 7 times, you say on that paper what you're calling forth. If you want to say your values too, go ahead, but you need to at least read your values. And then you say out loud what you're calling forth into your life at least 3 times a day. Okay? You can do it all at once, right there. Just knock it out. That's the best way for me to do these things, is to cultivate the energy all at once at a designated time. Okay, this is my time. I'm doing my altar work. How many rituals can I do during this time? You know what I mean? Okay, today I'll do this work for me. I'll do this work for this time for my client. You know, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And that is the end. So the therapy and your exercise is to allow you to go through this process, utilizing what the planet is doing to plant into the universe your change, your transformation of what you're letting go of, while at the same time empowering yourself and connecting deeper to spirit, the divine consciousness that is all-knowing and omnipresent. By doing that journal practice, by learning where you at and where spirit would like you to be. Okay? Peace and love to you all. I really hope this was beneficial. I love you, and stay strong, stay healthy, and stay spiritually empowered, because that is what's going to keep you powerful through the age of technology. The people who are spiritually inclined are going to be the people that can handle all of this, all of these shifts, and be able to utilize technology, and technology not utilize it or them. You will be it if you don't get spiritually centered, period. That's what's happening. That's why Saturn is in Pisces, because it's like, look, get your creative shit together, get your spirit together, because it's going down. All right, peace and love, you guys.